Awesome. So we have, would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Destinee.
I'm Charity.
Destinee and Charity. Destinee and Charity had come to us. Actually, so Miss Destinee's gotten a lot of tattoos from us over time now, and they actually came in. She came in with her sister here, and they had a pretty special thing that they wanted to get done. They've been thinking about for some time now. He said this tattoo's kind of in the making for like
8 years.
8 years. They had a very, very, very traumatic event that they both had separate events that happened that same day in the same hospital together, and they kind of went through together more or less. And they kind of wanted to, share that story here out today. So I kind of let y'all take it from there if you'd like to.
So I was 16 weeks pregnant, and little boy, his name was Silas, and I went in for an OBGYN appointment, regular checkup, ultrasound, and he said the baby was passed away. It had been approximately 4 days since I had felt him flutters, so they sent me to the hospital. I called my sister, and I need you to take my daughter, and my mom took my boys, and Charity, she had an OBGYN appointment the same day. She was pregnant as well. 13 weeks, right?
Almost 9.
Oh, 9 weeks. My bad. So 9 weeks. And she had an OBGYN appointment. And she took my daughter with her. Ended up calling me. She had dropped my daughter off and her daughter off at her in-laws. Her baby was in her tube. So we were both right here in Lake City at the old Shands at Lake Shore before it closed down. We were pregnant together, and on the same day, same time, same hospital, one floor away from each other, we both lost our babies. It was rough.
It was very traumatic.
Our mom couldn't be with us because she had my kids. So my aunt came, sat with me. The next most important person, since my mom and my sister couldn't be there, for obvious reasons.
We tried telling the hospital to let us be in the same room, and because of the situation, I had to stay on the OR floor and she had to stay on the labor and delivery floor, so they wouldn't put us in the same room.
Yeah.
So I did have my now ex-husband by my side, so my aunt went up there to stay with her.
And they both, between the two of them, they went back and forth checking on both of us and letting us know how each other was doing, because we couldn't be there for each other. So
Right. I know that had to be difficult, y'all not being able to actually go in there and see each other, especially being friends and sisters.
yeah, she's my best friend. We're close.
I know that's like super sad. I don't know. I hope I don't say this the wrong way, but not that. At least you had each other to maybe afterwards.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a big, big thing. And such a sad thing. That's a blessing, in disguise.
We've I refer to it as like a bad Lifetime movie network movie, because it's one of those, like, rarely sisters get pregnant together, but then to lose them together, same everything,
It was really hard, but at least we still had each other.
it was one of those.
You think that's
Three
caused y'all to
things.
bond anymore, like afterwards?
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
I think after going through all that,
We
So y'all are best
tell
friends
each
for
other
life.
everything.
we do. She's definitely my best friend.
So-
And we can literally say we went through hell together. That was, and we've both had miscarriages prior to that incident,
Right.
but losing them together was a whole nother level of trauma and terror for each other.
That and the events of how we lost them and what all happened in that time, that day, was a lot harder than just normal miscarriage.
You said that you had to. You told me a minute ago walking up here that there was a. I'm a man, so like I don't think like a woman does, but I can only imagine, even me as a man, that would kind of torture me. But you said there was a bassinet that was empty in the room with you.
They had me in the regular labor and delivery room, and after I delivered, there was every labor and delivery room, they got a little bassinet in there for the baby, and I spent 3 days with that bassinet empty in that room, And it seems like such a, like an absent thing, like something that wouldn't matter. But given I had just delivered my son, that
would be hard.
Yeah,
That's
hurt.
just a constant reminder. Did y'all have like afterwards, your significant others and stuff? Did y'all have, support from family and them? And
Yeah.
I did. I had support from my sister and my family. My mother and my aunt the next day ended up running my, at the time, significant other out of the hospital because he was supposed to drop me off the door and park the truck. He dropped me off the door and went to play pool all night. Yeah, so that's why my aunt came to be with me, and my, at the time, significant other became an ex-significant other at that moment.
Right.
That's why my husband was going back and forth making sure she was okay because I was so worried about her. I'm like, I have to make sure my sister's okay.
It's almost like you wish they had like put you, if not in the same room, a direct phone with each other, right?
Right, yeah.
Something.
I mean, because they were very aware at that point that y'all were sisters, right?
Oh yeah, they knew.
Everybody
knew. There was nurses even coming in between us,
Right.
back and forth checking. I was like, "What's going on, with my sister?" And vice versa. Even nurses were understanding of the situation, and I don't know. I don't want to call it a freak thing, but I don't know what else to call it.
Right. I'm not sure what to call that either.
No idea.
Bad Lifetime Movie Network movie. That's what I.
We'll go with that.
And that's the only thing that ever comes to mind when I try to explain it, because those movies are sad, those sad sob stories that are drawn to catch a tearjerker that are usually situations that never happen, and that's what this seems like. It's
Definitely something you think you only hear about in the movies until it's really right in front of you, for sure.
I remember when they were getting ready to take me to the OR, I kept telling my husband, just make sure my sister's okay. Tell her I love her and give her a hug for me.
Yeah, you care about each other when it's like that, man.
Like I was literally getting wheeled to the OR, and that's what I kept telling him.
Yeah, that's a good sign for y'all as individuals, really. Because when you're going through something traumatic like that and you're still thinking about somebody else, that's an amazing thing. Yeah, so y'all definitely be best friends for life now.
yeah.
Yeah. So the tattoos that you got, how did you decide what to get and the the events surrounding that?
Well, because of the age of the babies of our pregnancies, the gestation order, the babies were too small for footprints.
Right.
So the next best thing was, basic baby feet prints with a halo and wings and the date. I mean, we just.
I think they turned out beautiful. Do y'all love them?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and y'all got them. It's crazy. You said this was 8 years ago as of yesterday, right? Yeah. So this is definitely a memorial event for you. Yeah, we really appreciate y'all coming and letting us do that for you, obviously. And we definitely appreciate you getting on here and telling your story to the world. That takes bravery. That takes a lot, man. So I'm very, very commend you for that, for sure.
I appreciate y'all getting us in a last minute notice. Like I made the call yesterday, and it's like, can you help us out?
Some things, important things, man. We try to make room.
Y'all have always done great with me and my tattoos, and I won't go anywhere else. So I wasn't about to start calling around to see who could get us in yesterday. That's for sure.
I appreciate it. So just one last question. That one of the reasons I'm gonna record a lot of videos like this specifically is just because there's still a lot of stigma related to the tattoo industry. And I understand why. But I would kind of like some of these videos. Maybe, I'm not saying it's going to affect the whole world, but even one or two people is a lot. So kind of like to break up that stigma. But if these tattoos, would you say that they've helped y'all in any kind of way, or did
we mentally needed this? It's kind of like a therapeutic. It's an assistance to help us continue to move on.
Right. That's amazing. That's beautiful, actually. All right, guys. Well, I guess is there anything before we close that you'd like to say to any of the other moms out there in the world, or anything at all, family, loved ones, or?
If you lose someone, don't try to grieve on your own.
Always have a support system.
Yep. And if you don't think you have one, counseling, therapy, it helps.
It really does.
Don't try to grieve on your own. No matter how much you think you can handle it, don't grieve on your own. Especially somebody, we're supposed to bury our parents one day. We're not supposed to bury our children.
My mom told me a long time ago, I'll never forget it. She said two things that blew my mind. She said she said, your children one day, eventually they break your heart and then they learn to step on it. And kind of something that sat with me for a long time, especially now that I have kids. But the other things she told me, she was crying when she told me, you should never have to bury your own child. That's the worst thing a mother or a father can go through. It's not natural. So
It's not.
yeah, I think
It's not supposed to happen that way.
I think it's very wise too what you said, to find if you're grieving through something. To
Definitely
find
reach out.
All right, well, I guess we'll wrap it up here, man. And thank y'all, and God bless,
Thank
and
you.
we'll share this with the world.